All right, let's jump right into a huge debate, especially when it comes to any big ticket sale. What really matters more, marketing or price? We've all heard that old saying, right? If the price is right, it'll sell itself. But is that really the whole story? Let's dig in.
I mean, this quote from Grant Cardone pretty much sums up what we're all taught to believe. It feels like common sense, doesn't it? If the price is wrong, nothing else you do is going to matter. And look, there's definitely some truth to that. But it doesn't paint the whole picture, not even close. And that's the big question we're tackling today. If a sale only happens when the price is absolutely perfect, then is all the time, the energy, the money we pour into marketing just window dressing? Well, the answer is a lot more interesting than you'd think. Okay, so let's start by really looking at this idea, this belief that price is the one and only thing that reigns supreme.
You know, the expert behind the strategy admits that they used to think the exact same way. It's so easy to fall into that trap. Why bother with all this marketing stuff if the price isn't dead on? It seems so efficient to just focus on that one number. But that led to a huge realization. Clients, they need to see you're doing something. They need to see the effort.
And this is exactly where we slam into what's called the price-only problem. When you put all your eggs in the price basket, you end up creating this tension that just makes the entire process incredibly frustrating for everybody involved. And you can see that disconnect right here. On the one side, you've got the seller, who's hoping to see their agent out there working hard, making things happen. But what's the reality of a price-only strategy? It's a waiting game. Literally just waiting. No new information comes in, the frustration starts to build, and the whole thing just grinds to a halt. And this kicks off a really nasty, vicious cycle. The sale is dragging, so what does everyone do? They blame the price. And because price is the only tool you're using, what happens next? Marketing gets cut back even more. The seller sees nothing happening, and they get angry. And here's the crucial part. With no marketing, you get zero new data, which means the only solution anyone can think of is, you guessed it, cut the price again. But now, you're just throwing darts in the dark. You're guessing.
So, how in the world do you break out of this loop? Well, you do it by completely rethinking the whole purpose of marketing with a strategy called marketing to know.
This right here, this is the light bulb moment that changes everything. The goal of your marketing isn't just to find a buyer. The goal is to gather intelligence, to listen to what the market is telling you. It's a simple shift in thinking, but honestly, it's a total game changer. So what does that actually mean? The key is that marketing to know creates a feedback loop. You're not just shouting into the void and hoping someone hears you. You're actively building a system to learn what real buyers are thinking, how they're reacting, and what the live data is actually saying. And this leads us to the most powerful part of this whole strategy. It lets you replace all that guesswork and all those opinions with cold, hard data. Okay, check this out. This comparison makes it crystal clear. Scenario A, no campaign. You put a sign up, you wait 3 weeks, and crickets. You're left totally in the dark, wondering, is the price too high, or did nobody even see this thing? But look at scenario B. A targeted campaign runs. In week 1, thousands of people see it. Now, if they don't act, you've eliminated one of the big questions. You know they saw it. So the conversation can shift to price, but this time it's backed by real evidence. You go from guessing to knowing. And that's the bottom line. When you can walk into a room and say, hey, we got this in front of 10,000 people, we got 150 clicks, and we had 0 inquiries, you're not just sharing your opinion anymore. You're presenting a mathematical reality. And that is very, very hard to argue with. So this data-first approach does way more than just help your strategy. It actually changes the entire dynamic with your client. You're building trust, and you're gaining real professional leverage. So how does this work? Well, first off, it shows effort. You're being proactive, not passive, and clients love to see that. Second, it generates actual proof, real numbers, clicks, views that you can bring to the table. Third, all of this builds trust because the seller can see you have a clear process, a real strategy. And finally, and this is huge, when it's time to have that tough conversation about price, you're not asking them to just trust your gut. You're armed with evidence, asking them to look at the facts with you. And you know what? This is more critical right now than ever. In a market that changes this fast, data from last week is already old news. Active marketing is like your real-time dashboard, feeding you fresh signals directly from the people who actually matter, today's buyers.
Okay, so to tie all this together, let's use a super simple but really powerful analogy that just perfectly explains the relationship between price and marketing.
I want you to think of it like this. Price is the engine in your car. It's what provides the raw power to get a deal moving. Without the right price, you're not going anywhere, period. But marketing is the steering wheel. It gives you direction, control, and that crucial feedback from the road. And of course, you absolutely need both. An engine without a steering wheel is just a bunch of noise and wasted power. And a steering wheel without an engine, well, that's just for show. It's only when they are working together that you can actually navigate the market and drive a deal forward safely and effectively. So that leaves us with one final question for you to think about. On your next big project, are you just building an engine? Just focusing on price and hoping brute force gets you there? Or have you also designed a steering wheel? Are you using data to guide your decisions, build trust, and truly know the road ahead?